The ROV subsequently found additional debris. In consultation with experts from within the Unified Command, the debris is consistent with the catastrophic loss of the pressure chamber.
OceanGate, the company steering the Titan's journey, has delivered the grim news we all feared. The crew of the Titan, they confirmed, didn't survive the disaster. In their heartbreaking statement, they acknowledged the loss of their CEO, Stockton Rush. But what led to this devastating incident? What chain of events resulted in the implosion of this high-tech submersible, claiming the lives of these experienced adventurers? The mission just 4 days ago, the Titan, a marvel of human engineering, set out on an ambitious mission. Its crew of 5 comprised of some of the best minds and bravest souls of our generation. They were to dive to the depths of the Atlantic, to the final resting place of the legendary RMS Titanic. As the world held its breath, the Titan began its descent into the deep, not knowing it was a journey from which it would not return. The moment the Titan ceased communication, a multinational task force sprung into action. Time was critical. Every passing moment was a matter of life and death. The task force, comprised of experts and resources from across the globe, employed every available tool: airplanes, naval vessels, submarines, subsea robots, and even remote-operated vehicles that could brave the pressures of the ocean floor. Their singular focus was to locate the Titan and rescue its crew. According to news sources, time is also running out for those on board the submarine, as the submersible has oxygen for only about 70 to 96 hours. While it is equipped for 4 days of emergency capabilities, finding it in a timely fashion is of obvious importance. The U.S. Coast Guard said there was 1 pilot and 4 passengers on board, and that the vessel had the capacity to be submerged for 96 hours, but it was unclear whether it was still underwater or had surfaced and was unable to communicate. U.S. and Canadian ships and planes have swarmed the area about 900 miles, 1,450 kilometers east of Cape Cod, some dropping sonar buoys that can monitor to a depth of 13,000 feet, 3,962 meters. U.S. Coast Guard Rear Admiral John Mauger told reporters on Monday. Discovery of the debris as the hours turned into days, the anticipation grew into dread. The first sign of the disaster came when the team discovered debris that pointed to a chilling reality. It wasn't just any debris. It was consistent with the catastrophic loss of the Titan's pressure chamber. The nose cone, the aft, the bell, all the parts that were supposed to protect the crew from the crushing pressure of the deep sea, were scattered across the ocean floor. The nature of these fragments painted a grim picture. The Titan had not succumbed to a slow, creeping leak. It was a catastrophic, sudden change in pressure that did it in. A violent implosion, triggered by the unfathomable pressures of the deep sea, that would have torn the Titan apart in an instant. The theories and myths related to the so-called Titanic curse and its links to sectarianism are largely rooted in conjecture and have been refuted by historical data. There's no substantial proof to validate these claims. One of the primary myths is that the ship's registration number, when mirrored, reads as "No Pope," hinting at an anti-Catholic sentiment. However, the reality is that this is simply a coincidence. The actual number of the Titanic was 401, not 390,904 as the myth suggests. The numeric system used by Harland and Wolff, the shipbuilders of the Titanic, was sequential, and there's no evidence indicating any deliberate association to sectarianism. But attributing the sinking of the Titanic to anti-Catholic prejudices of the shipbuilders lacks evidence and seems groundless. The sinking was, in fact, a consequence of multiple factors, such as design shortcomings, inadequate safety precautions, and a devastating collision with an iceberg. It was a tragic mishap rather than a premeditated act fueled by religious discrimination. We must approach these speculative narratives with a critical eye, relying on verified historical facts rather than uncorroborated myths and legends. The question on everyone's mind is, how could this have happened? Despite its experimental nature, the Titan was built to withstand extreme conditions. Its design incorporated never-before-used materials, a testament to human ingenuity. However, it's becoming increasingly clear that something went horribly wrong. The risks taken in the name of innovation are now under scrutiny. The timeline of the Titan's final moments is chilling. After the Titan lost contact with its surface team, there was a period of silence, a void filled with anxiety and uncertainty. The suggestion from the Coast Guard is that this is when the implosion likely occurred. The silence, it seems, was not just the loss of communication. It was the silent, instantaneous send of 5 lives. Reflections in this episode, while we mourn the loss of the brave crew of the Titan. However, frontier tourism isn't for everyone. It often caters to a select few with sufficient means, as underscored by the tragic events surrounding the Titan, with passengers reportedly shelling out $150,000 for the expedition. Titan operated in international waters and did not carry passengers from a port. It was not subject to safety regulations. The vessel was not certified as seaworthy by any regulatory agency or third-party organization. 37 reporter David Pogue, who completed the expedition in 2022 as part of a CBS News Sunday morning feature, 38 said that all passengers who enter Titan sign a waiver confirming their knowledge that it is an experimental vessel that has not been approved or certified by any regulatory body and could result in physical injury, disability, emotional trauma, or death. In 2018, OceanGate's Director of Marine Operations, David Lockridge, composed a report documenting safety concerns he had about Titan. In court documents, Lockridge said that he had urged the company to have Titan assessed and certified by an agency, but OceanGate had declined to do so, citing an unwillingness to pay. 47 He also said that the transparent viewport on its forward end was only certified to reach a depth of 1,300 meters, 4,300 ft. Only a third of the depth required to reach the Titanic. 48 Lockridge was also concerned that OceanGate would not perform non-destructive testing on the vessel's hull before undertaking crude dives, and alleged that he was repeatedly told that no scan of the hull or bond line could be done to check for delaminations, porosity, and voids of sufficient adhesion of the glue being used due to the thickness of the hull. Join us again as we continue to unravel the mysteries of the ocean. But as we do, let us always remember the power of the deep and the respect it commands. Thank you for joining us today on Ocean Mysteries. Until next time, respect the ocean and stay curious.